Yeah, I tried to schedule a live stream. It didn't quite work out so well. Uh, got some things I want to talk about that people aren't talking about when it comes to Russia. Russia! And the things that they're not talking about, I am fixing to read. Okay, there's this Istanbul project that Russia tried to get going back in, or Turkey and Russia tried to get going back in like 2010. Although, and they were beating around the bush. One reason why Turkey is having such economic problems is because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're actually helping Russia build this Istanbul Canal. And the importance of the Istanbul Canal is right now the Phosphorus Straits. There's a treaty set up not allowing Russian warships to go from the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. One reason why they're not the world power America is they haven't sunk their money into the sea power because they haven't had access to the world. So they're building this canal, and let's go back to this page here, and it says by December 2019, construction had not yet commenced. President Erdogan indicated the request for tender project would be published in early 2020. Okay. Then it says January 2020, the Environmental and Urbanization Ministry approved the final version of the Environmental Impact Assessment report for the Istanbul Canal project. Construction work is scheduled to begin mid-2021. I have not been able to find out if it actually has started in right now or not. And there were some other things. Here it is. Where am I at? Oh no, I lost my place. Damn it. Anyhow, another thing is Russia has, and I did a video on this already, Russia has 31 icebreakers. They already have like 4 more bigger ones, and they've already deployed a lot of their military to the North Pole, the Arctic, because they own 40% of it, and they have, from World War II, deep water ports and military bases there. They've already reestablished those deep water ports and military bases, and have building 2 new deep water ports. You're thinking to yourself, Neil, that's stupid. Why is this important to anything? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, it's very important, because not next year, not the year after that, but eventually, within a few years, Russia, and because of global warming or the natural cycle of this planet, the North Passage will be able to be used. The Northern Passage, who is that? Hey, what's up, Long Live Coins? If the Northern Passage is able to be used, and Russia has icebreakers to keep and maintain it open year-round, the shipping routes for the whole world are going to change. They're not going to go the way that China has their deep water ports that they're investing in. So basically, Russia's cutting China's throat, because Russia will have the Northern Passage that goes up over Russia, or to you guys, it'd be up over Russia and down into between Alaska and Kazakhstan, or whatever it is on their west east coast, their west east coast, I guess, for Russia. They're going to have that Northern Passage open. It's going to save 30 to 40% on all cost for shipping, and you don't have to lighten the load like you do in the Panama Canal to be able to make it through. So Russia's already in a position to be a world leader. And if you, I had a report I just did, I turned it out on my channel on Russia's $15 trillion profit they just made this past year. Since they've got 4,000 sanctions put on them, they're actually making money, and their GDP for the country grew almost 2% during all these sanctions. So you can't be fooled by the Russian war, because the Russians are actually actively building the Istanbul Canal with Turkey. And that's why Turkey's getting sanctioned and hit hard with inflation and everything, because economically we're at war. We're at war with Turkey and at Russia. Russia will get the canal built. When they get the canal built, they will have control of a lot of the shipping. So You can't count them out. World's leaders and countries look longer than 5 minutes into the future, 5 days into the future. Oh, I want silver to moon tomorrow. That's not the mentality countries have. We are looking at it that way. And what that is that's a trader's perspective, a day trader, but on a weekly or monthly scale. It's not actual investing. If you truly want real wealth and you're not going to blow the money you make on your investments on cars and all this other stuff, you want to invest in things that are going to be long term. And long term, Russia is going to control a majority of the world's shipping. So you cannot discount them. They're not going to lose. They're already prepared. They've got a large, why is the large part of their military in the North Pole reopening all these ports if they're in a war that they're losing? Oh, I'm a general. I'm going to send half my forces up north where they won't be in the war so I can lose the war. Really? Come on. So we got to put some thought into this. And if you look at China, China has antagonized every one of their neighbors when their true adversary is Russia. Because China's One Belt Road Initiative is going to get stopped by India and Russia. And India is kind of strong compared to what Russia's face is putting on in Ukraine. So before China, CCP China, goes belly up, bankrupt, because that's exactly where they're headed, they're going to try and start a war, or they will start a war. So everyone's like, oh, they're going to hit Taiwan, or they're going to hit. Well, if anyone who says they're going to hit Taiwan, you're not looking at the northwest border with of Kashmir area of India and China. Because ships down in Taiwan, they can be moved. They can be moved. But what can't be moved is in the northwest part of China, right again on the Indian border near, and I've done reports on this too, near PL-17, where they've been fighting and killing each other for decades. China built 2 permanent airfields, military airfields. Those can't be moved. That's a different type of indicator. That's a look over here at my fleet that's doing all this crazy stuff as I'm building up my military over here. Because what China did for their One Belt Road Initiative is they assumed that they could put their road through Indian territory to get to Pakistan, their number one ally for the Belt Road Initiative. India took offense to that. So China's One Belt Road Initiative doesn't start with Pakistan. They got to go through India. Wow. Okay. Well, not only did China build 2 military air bases in that region of their country here in the past 3 to 4 years, they've also increased their military presence by 200,000 soldiers. India, in response, put 80,000 soldiers on the other side of the border. And just a week ago, and I did a report on this as well, they bought 31 Predator drones for $4.6 billion from their economic enemy, America. Makes you wonder who their economic enemy really is. It's China. And China is Russia's number one enemy. I don't know how this BRICS thing is holding together, because it's not going to, it's not going to hold together. There's too many indicators out there that show that China is going to fight one of their neighbors, because they are a failing dictatorship, communist, totalitarian regime. And Xi, their leader, has already assassinated anyone who could be in a position to run the country after he goes. So they actually do have a time limit on their country, and that's the life expectancy of their leader. And that's the best case scenario for the CCP China. The better case scenario for CCP China is internal dispute, which is happening, assassinations by internal members trying to gain power, which is happening, and then you have a revolt, it has not happened yet. So right before that happens, for Xi to keep control of his military, he's going to have to go to war, and his decision will be to fight Russia, because he sees the writing on the wall when it comes to India. You fight India, you're fighting America, even though there are economic enemies. I wonder what lie we've been told. You got to step back from the big picture and see the reality of what is out there happening right now. And if you look and you research the North Pole, you'll find there's already been a consensus long time ago. There was a consensus between the whole world on how to divide it up to where there would not be wars over the North Pole. And they decided whatever countries bordered the North Pole, and they flattened the globe out into a flat map, and they just drew their lines through it. And whatever countries were there, they controlled that part of it, or a percentage. That's that part of percentage. Russia has 40% of the North Pole. The North Pole has 40% of all the natural resources on the planet. Russia's set up for a northern passage to be maintained year-round. So with all these things, how could they not be in power for generations? And another thing about Russia, and this is why I'm another reason why it comes back to platinum being money. Because Russia, if they do take control of BRICS, or BRICS breaks up and Russia says, hey, we don't need you. We got the Northern Passage. We got money. For which a report I just turned out on my channel. You go to my channel, you go to, you don't watch all the cat videos. You go to playlist, Niels on, go to Niels World. All the good stuff is there without any cat videos. So you can bypass all the cat videos. There's like 700 videos there, mostly geopolitical and platinum. But anyhow, Russia in the past has used platinum as money. And they are going to be an economic world leader. They have platinum. They're going to keep South Africa near them because they know the value of platinum. Because from 1828 to 1845, Russia actually minted 3 or 4 coins that they used as actual cash out of platinum. So if they're going to control the Northern Passage and they're going to make all this trillions of dollars in shipping while saving countries 30% by using Russia to guarantee them that money, and just this past year alone, the oil and natural gas and energy oligarchies in Russia made trillions. They projected $15 trillion they made in profit. Russia, their GDP grew 1.9%. With all these sanctions, imagine how much they would have grown without sanctions. And the sanctions are turning around. And that's where we go back to Turkey and treaties. All these treaties, and no one's talking about this on charts. These treaties are coming to end. Lots of treaties are coming to an end, and they're going to have to be renegotiated. That changes every financial chart that you look at, if you look at it. Treaties. The Bosphorus Strait is fixing to be negligible. So any treaty made to keep Russia's warships out of the Mediterranean by 2025, when they finish the Istanbul Canal, which will allow, because there's no treaty for this brand new canal that's being built supposedly in 2021, to allow Russian warships through Turkish property into the Mediterranean. What happens then when we have warships from Russia in the Mediterranean? That's never happened in our lifetimes, in our fathers' lifetimes, in our grandfathers' lifetimes, because of treaties that are going to be coming to an end within a few years. And that's basically what all this economic positioning that people are making is all about. That's why when they made these treaties and stuff, they didn't just do the treaties and look and say, oh, we'll just do this treaty and it'll be good, and let's go build our civilization and forget about this treaty. No, it's all the 50-year cycle, the 80-year cycle, 100-year cycle, treaties. See, it goes beyond economics. That's why I like doing geopolitical, because geopolitical is economics right now, because treaties are going to be and rewritten. And what that does is that rewrites economics. And that's why I do geopolitical, like I keep saying. And that's why I say keep an eye on Russia. Russia is making some moves. And, well, thanks to Joe Biden, they made their richest of rich made $15 trillion last year. So, China's losing money. Russia's making money. So if China's losing money and Russia's making money, and the future looks bright for Russia and not China, and Turkey's building a canal for Russia to get their warships into the Mediterranean and commerce into the Mediterranean, bypassing all the treaties that we have a new World Economic Forum to play from. And Russia is going to be at the table, not China. because China might do a lot of shipping, but what they have, if you look at the world map, all of their coastline, they've got to go through Japan, they've got to go through Taiwan, they got to go through Indonesia, they got to go through Philippines, they got to go through all these other countries and their territories and their economic zones and everything. And that really hampers them from shipping unless they have common ground with the countries that they're going through their territories, which they don't have. So it's not real prosperous for them in shipping right now. And again, hey, what's up, Pete? Thank you for stopping by. I've been ranting and raving about Russia and platinum and how they tie in, because Russia will be an economic superpower. That everything's set up for it within 5 years, 10 at the most. They will be an economic superpower. It's been geared and set up for that. Now, if they're an economic superpower and we don't recognize platinum as money, but yet they do, and they're an economic superpower, and we don't recognize their economic superpower thought process that made them an economic superpower, well, shame on us. Because as an economic superpower, they're going to keep control. How do they keep control? Ties with South Africa. Because then they have 95% of platinum, for which they have used as money. And anytime you have two bullies on the block fighting, they take whatever advantage they can get to get the upper hand. And Russia has that advantage in platinum. It's going to make its run. I'm telling you, it's going to make its run. It runs before gold. It runs before silver. It's going to make its run. But after it makes its run, what'll happen if Russia monetizes it when it's at $4,000 or $5,000 an ounce, and they monetize it and they control the price because they mine it with their partner, South Africa? They have every legal right to do that. What happens to the price? They control it, not us. So having said that, do you believe these people that say, well, platinum's never been money, it's not going to be worth anything? Here's another thought process for you. According to all of my research on platinum, supposedly 50% of the platinum mine goes to the auto industries for mostly catalytic converters, but other things they use as well. China in the future will be buying 50% of South Africa's platinum supply for their hydrogen engine cars, which I've put out a list of 10 different companies that are currently manufacturing hydrogen engine cars, from BMW to Toyota, GM, Ford, all of them. They're making hydrogen engine cars, all requiring platinum. So if the auto industry in the West is consuming 50% of the platinum supply coming out of the ground, and China next year is going to buy 50% of the platinum coming out of the ground for the hydrogen engines, let's see, there's 50% comes up with 100%. What's the price going to be? So there's so many geopolitical factors that are going to be playing putting a price tag on platinum that it doesn't do for gold, because everybody has gold. Well, let's hype up everything. Let's hype up. Hey, let's hype up keys. Everybody has keys. Let's make them worth more. Okay, well, here's something, not everyone has this, so I'm going to make this worth more because I own it and I control it. That's platinum and BRICS, or not even BRICS, because it's going to fall apart. That's platinum and Russia and South Africa. And South Africa's hurting right now economically because their political scene went to shit when they started kicking out those people that were making the economic moves and infrastructure rebuilding necessary that they kicked out. Well, they didn't do any of that, so their country's falling apart. That's why they don't mine. They're not going to be mining as much platinum. Okay, long live coins. You saying what he says is we have a coin made of platinum now? Back in 1997, the U.S. Mint started minting platinum coins. So I don't know if you're talking about that, or if you personally have a platinum coin now. Thanks, Pete. Yeah. I go on a rant about Russia controlling the world, and it all goes back to platinum being money. Oh, both. Okay, right on. Thank you for answering long live coins and staying around to answer. I can tie most anything into platinum nowadays, and how it's going to play such a major role in the small market that is. It's a small market. When I say major role, it's a small move in the big picture is massive for a small commodities sector like platinum is. But its need and use is beyond coinage, beyond rings. Like I said, China's going to buy half, the West is going to buy half. Where's retail? Where's the medical? The medical's needed. Where's all this other for eyes, cancer treatments? I mean, there's lots of stuff platinum's used for. So if 100% of the supply is going to two different auto industries, what's the price for you and I to get some? Okay, get it before it gets there, because you ain't going to be able to afford that price. And if you can, don't buy it. Buy something else. It'd be a waste at that point in time. You know, 10,000 an ounce, 20,000 an ounce. It depends. It's not on me. It's not on you. It's on who has the money that'll pay for it. If 100% of the supply of platinum is taken out of the ground, is already consumed by two industries, what is the price for everyone else of that commodity of platinum? You know, okay, well, Russia and South Africa control it. So, you know, no matter what the price goes up to, Russia's going to benefit, and they're already going to benefit because they've got the northern passage tied up. And here's the thing about global warming. For any of you guys watching, if you know anything about global warming, lie. It is truly a lie. In my beekeeping research that I did for 6 years, for which I came up with my own beekeeping technique and box for a moving, mobile beekeeping system, I discovered in Sweden, the one by Norway, the icebergs were receding because of global warming. But these dumbasses in their report said, and the icebergs are receding because of global warming, but it uncovered a farmhouse from the 12th century. What? Okay, so global warming means that we are doing stuff that's never happened. How could a glacier uncover, after melting and going backwards, uncover a 12th century farmhouse? Now, how's this interesting to beekeepers? The reason why I was drawn to this story at the time, I wasn't into platinum back then, I was into beekeeping, big time. And the reason why I was drawn to the story is because they used beeswax to preserve the wood when they built it in the 12th century. The house, the farmhouse itself, that was covered from the 12th century sometime till 2020, 2018 to 2000. So in the 800 years, a glacier came by and covered up that farmhouse. And now it's our fault that it's receding back to where it was when it was a farmstead. How's that our fault? How did we cause that? That seems natural to me. It seems like every 800 to 1,000 years they go, and people are trying to take financial advantage of it through fear mongering. Another reason to step back and look at the big picture, which should include platinum in your portfolio. I now have successfully, that I know of, that people have told me about, I have got a little over 300 ounces of silver people have purchased because I've been informing and enlightening people on the value of platinum. So I'm feeling good, because my whole initial intent and purpose of spouting out platinum is because the people that most everyone listens to, the Rick Rules and the Bill Holters, are pushing you off of it and doing you a great misservice because of their lack of understanding, even though they say they know what's coming. Great crash, whatever. And that's cool. You know, you might understand it's coming, but why? What is the intent and purposes that caused it? And the intent and purposes of what caused it is what China is doing, what America's doing, and what Russia's going to be doing and doing. But anyhow, that's my rant on Russia. Anyhow, and I encourage all of you to take a map, a world map. You know, ones that give you a flat scene of the world, so that all the features of the countries look weird because they're flat instead of at the rounded globe shape. And just, you know, draw some lines up. And then proof and point here. That's why Trump wanted to buy the Iceland from Denmark, because Denmark owns Iceland. and Iceland borders the North Pole. So Denmark actually owns like 20% of the Arctic, and 40% of the world's natural resources are there. So tit for tat there, you invest in Denmark, they're going to be the East Indies Company all over again, because they're going to be wealthy. They have access to what few countries. America has Canada, America, Russia, and Denmark consume 90%, 80% of the Arctic as far as land ownership. So, yeah, and no one talks about Denmark. When was the last time you heard about invest in Denmark? Well, Niels Hahn Dynasty here to tell you, as soon as the Arctic becomes relevant as an economic thing, it'll be too late to invest in Denmark. So invest in it, and you'll be the next Warren Buffett in 20 years. See, that's the type of wealth you need to be building, not temporary wealth. That's just for your lifetime, as an adult, so you can be a kid, buy your cars, yachts, and then you die, and who gives a fuck how they run shit, and they run it into the ground and become broke. If you don't want that to happen, you invest in future gains. Future gains isn't 1 year or 2 years out, it's 20 or 30 years out. And that's why you get the shit cheap, because not too many people are talking about investing in the Arctic, but yet we're going to have to. So, and that's where I come back to my theories on BRICS, because I'm looking 20, 30 years out. I don't see BRICS being there. I don't see China being there. China, I see within 5 years, we're going to have a war. Not with China. I mean, China's going to have a war with someone, not with us. So they're going to break down into what they used to be. They used to be a couple different dynasties. So you notice the name of my channel is Niels Hahn Dynasty. Well, the dynasty they used to have, one of like 4 or 5, was the Han Dynasty, HAN. And it's kind of my play to when it happens, I'll be like, yeah, you see the name of my channel, man? I knew it was going to happen, because I look ahead. I see the actual shit that's happening. I research myself. And that's what blows me away, that people actually watch me. All y'all could do this research. Every one of you could do this research yourself and find out what's going on and make logical, deductive reasoning investment for yourself. And one of those, and the main one, silver and platinum. That's why I always say buy silver and platinum. Because when I first got into this precious markets thing, no one was talking about it, because I guess they want you to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. I can't. I mean, I got like 15 grams of platinum. I can't afford it. But I've talked, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people that have gotten back to me have purchased over 300 ounces of silver or platinum since I started talking about it. And they give me acclimates for them being awoke to the reality of what platinum can do for them. And they bought it. So that's why I do this. I'm not doing this because I like seeing myself on freaking a little screen. Hell, I'm 55 years old. I had plenty of time to do that. I was a model for when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was a model. I mean, I could have stuck with that if I wanted this shit. It's not what I want. I'm doing it because I want to wake people up. I don't want to see Americans suffer, because people who are on TV, who other people are respecting, don't talk about it because they themselves do not know about it, but people give them acclimates for being professionals in the precious metals markets, when in my opinion, they are lackluster in certain areas. In other areas, they are very experienced and very good, but that does not give them the right to talk about areas they know nothing about, and they do, and that pisses me off. And that's why Rick Rule, Bill Holter, I'll debate you right now. I know I've only got like fucking 20 people, but I don't care. I'm right. They're wrong. They should not be telling the hundreds of thousands of people that watch them and listen to them that platinum is not money, because it has been money, and it has been money by those people who control platinum, and they're called BRICS. our economic enemy. So you know it's all a fabrication when the big boys who have hundreds of thousands and millions of followers are misinformed. I'm not going to give them any, anything. I'm not going to put anything on it, but other than they are misinformed, intentionally or not. I'm not my problem. I'm here to set the record straight. Exactly, Pete. Makes you wonder why they're not talking about it. Because someone, again, you think silver is going to make you rich when you can't buy platinum and you have it. How much is it going to be worth? If you don't have it, it doesn't matter how much it's worth. You didn't get it when you could. You want the platinum squeeze or the silver squeeze? You want to know what it looks like? Platinum squeeze going on right now. It's going on right now. There's future purchases of the shit coming out of the ground. It's going to make it to where you can't get any. So, oh, I'm sorry, JM Unleashed. My computer had a cat problem. So instead of getting mad at the cats, I just restarted, because you can't get mad at them. They're cute, that and they don't know anything about computers. Or maybe they do. Sorry, anyhow, sorry about that, JM. If you guys could share, because that problem did happen. It's that jerk right there, trouble. That one right there did it. Blame him. It's Harley. He's the one that jumped up on the computer and caused all the problems. But JM, luckily, he's not a 50-pound dog, or else I'd need a new computer. Or I know your dog's way more than 50 pounds. How much does your dog weigh? 90, 100? It's hard to tell with all that fur. I take it the big dog you always walk is your dog. He looks like he wants to be yours if he's not. You don't even have any cats and they're fucking with you. Imagine what they do to me. Like, you see some of my cat videos, man, I can't turn around without fucking Dixie just flopping down right where I'm fixing to walk. I'll be like starting walking. She's like, boom, flop down right there. It's like, for real? My foot was fixing to be there. Okay, about 120. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to tell with all that fur how actually really thick he is. And, because the fur on one side can be, deceivingly large. But anyhow, I was just talking about, and Long Live Coins was here, Pete's still here, about Russia and how Russia's going to be an economic world power for 10 years. And how they already made, thanks to Biden, which I just turned out a video. If you go to Neil's on Dynasty and go to videos, go to Neil's World. Neil's World has all the geopolitical and platinum videos on it. The most recent one I did is about how Russia oligarchies in the natural gas and oil industry just made $15 trillion off of what Joe Biden did to us by cutting off the oil. Wow, I guess we hurt them, huh? Their GDP gained 1.9%. What's ours lost? Yeah, go America. Yeah, at only 120 pounds, he has to be very lean. That's actually small for such a big dog. They're usually about 160, 140, 160, somewhere up there. And they usually have this big thing of rum on their collar. At least that's what Bugs Bunny does on the cartoons. I love those cartoons. But yeah, look at Russia and look at Denmark. No one will ever tell you about Denmark, but Denmark owns 20% of the North Pole due to already arranged so that there's no world wars fighting who owns it. They came up with a plan. Everyone agreed upon it, sectioned it up, boom. And Denmark actually owns 20% of it. And North Pole is where 40% of the natural resources still lie. Gold, silver, platinum, oil, natural gas, all of it. So they own 20% of it. So as I said earlier, they're going to be the next. They're coming back to be an East Indies company again. They're going to be very, very wealthy. That's why Trump wanted to buy them, because the United States would have matched Russia with the amount of the Arctic owned if Trump could have sealed that deal, and we would be a lot wealthier than we're going to be. That's another reason why I say we need to take over Canada. Sorry for my Canadian friends, but I don't do it just for your freedom. It's for the ownership of the Arctic, where 40% of the next world's natural resources are going to come from, and if we have Canada, we own half of it. Well, thank you, Pete. I just noticed that Neil is a cool, smart cat. I get my smarts from this guy right here. I don't know if you can see him. That's Gandalf. He's the other one on the bed. But anyhow, I think my spiel and splanks, whatever, my outrage to people not talking about reality of what's going to happen, and it's going to happen. You can mark my words. I put it on video. I know it's going to be there forever. It's going to happen. Trust me. Russia will be an economic powerhouse. China will fall. Denmark will invest in it now. Splanin. I don't understand what that means, Pete. Splanin. I don't even know what that word means. I think you might have a typo, or you have actually, or you've actually introduced me to something I don't know. Oh, right on. So it was a pretty good explanation of the future and where you need to throw your money now, because everyone now I'm going to drop back to the YouTubers out there now and all these financial people out there now. They all say buy cheap, buy early before it becomes a thing. I just informed you Denmark's going to be a thing when the Northern Passage opens up, because when the Northern Passage opens up, Russia's going to be a big thing because they've got icebreakers to keep that passage open, and they're going to make trillions of dollars in shipping. That's a given. That's going to happen. Bet your dollar on it. That will happen. When that happens, the Arctic's going to open up more, and Denmark is going to start fucking farming for natural gas and oil in the waters right off of their part of the territory of the Arctic, and they're going to make some serious duckage. And they're going to be something again. They might not be fucking exporting tulips or whatever they're known for. And forgive me, Denmark. I don't know too much. I do, but I don't recall. My study on them is like 25 years ago. So my recall on that country is not that good. I do know they will be great again. And you should invest if they have any startup companies for natural gas or oil exploration companies from Denmark for their sovereign territory. Those would be what you want to look into invest in, because they will be successful. And no one will tell you that. Russia, I'd love to be able to say invest in them, but they're corrupt. They're corrupt as hell. So it's a buyer beware on that one. And then you got Canada, which I'm not too understanding of what the fuck they're doing. That's why I say we need to take them over too. Give their people freedom and own more of the Arctic. It'll make us more wealthy. So, make them more wealthy because they can't exploit it. They can't even pull their heads out their asses because their leader, kind of sort of like us. But anyhow, yeah, and it's all Biden's fault. Biden made the Russian oligarchies $15 trillion. And that's what started this video off at, and the last video. So don't be mistaken. Don't be mistaken. Don't discount Russia. What you don't know is what they don't want you to know, which is what I tell you. And that's why I'd appreciate anyone out there like, share, and subscribe. But it's been going on about 40 minutes. So my rant is over with. Next rant will probably be on housing or something. I get these thoughts going in my head. I need to write them down because then I forget about them. But they're good talking points that actually need to be talked about. I just forget about them. Not forget, just I don't recall them when I'm live because I don't write shit down. But anyhow, you guys have yourself a great day. I'm going to go ahead and kick off out of here. Enjoy your Sunday. I got to check this out here. There we go. I have my computer It's black screened. It's something happened to it where I have to hook it up to my TV. But anyhow, you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. God bless.